Admiral Antares scoffed dismissively at the puny human planet on his view screen, not knowing that his arrogant mistake would cost the lives of millions of Una's soldiers. "Master Altair, why did the humans respond so brutally when our fleet arrived? What did we do wrong?" young Rigel asked, eyes wide with confusion. The elder Unas sighed deeply, his face etched with sorrow as painful memories resurfaced. In the dimly lit room aboard their starship, Altair began recounting the disastrous tale of first contact with humanity. "It was the year 2235, Altair said gravely. Our Unas confederation had grown vast and powerful, conquering hundreds of star systems. When we detected strange radio signals from an unremarkable planet called Earth, the High Council grew intrigued, a new species to subjugate. Admiral Antares was dispatched with a fleet of 50 warships to investigate and conquer the humans. I served as his chief advisor and warned against underestimating them, but my concerns were foolishly dismissed." Altair shook his head ruefully. "As we approached Earth, we were shocked to find the humans had achieved remarkable technological progress in a few short centuries since their first radio broadcasts. Sprawling cities, global networks, 10 billion citizens. They even had FTL travel, robotics, and advanced energy." But Antares remained arrogantly confident in Una's superiority. He ordered the fleet into invasion positions, not knowing his rash attack would be the greatest mistake in Una's history. Antares doomed us all with his pride and hubris that day. As the imposing Una's fleet assumed formation in the space surrounding Earth, a surprising transmission originating from the planet's surface reached their vessels. The message came from Raymond Morris, a human male serving as the Secretary of Interstellar Affairs for the United Earth Federation. In a bold move, Morris extended an invitation to Admiral Antares and his delegation, proposing a diplomatic summit to be held in the city of Geneva, Switzerland. Altair, intrigued by the humans' audacious approach, advised Antares to accept the invitation. He believed it would provide an opportunity to gather valuable intelligence about their potential adversaries before commencing any aggressive actions. Though reluctant, Antares ultimately agreed to Altair's counsel. A delegation of 5 Unas, with Altair and the Admiral among them, boarded a shuttlecraft and descended to the Earth's surface. Upon their arrival, Secretary Morris and a small contingent of human dignitaries greeted the Unas delegation. The humans escorted their visitors to an opulent conference room that offered a stunning view of Lake Geneva. As the meeting commenced, Altair couldn't help but notice the remarkable composure and calmness displayed by the humans, especially considering the extraordinary circumstances they found themselves in. Secretary Morris, an impressive figure with a tall stature and captivating blue eyes, initiated the discussion by conveying humanity's sincere desire for peaceful coexistence and mutual understanding between their two species. He openly acknowledged the Una's apparent technological superiority, but emphasized that humans were known for their adaptability and quick learning abilities when faced with new challenges. Altair found himself increasingly captivated by Morris's eloquent words and the confidence with which he spoke. The humans' compelling arguments and diplomatic skill drew Altair into the discussion, engaging him in a way he hadn't anticipated. However, this development did not sit well with Admiral Antares, who grew visibly displeased with Altair's apparent fascination with the humans' perspective. Morris continued to navigate the conversation with finesse, highlighting humanity's rich history of overcoming adversity and their capacity for rapid progress. He pointed out that in a relatively short span of time, humans had achieved remarkable feats in fields such as FTL travel, robotics, and advanced energy systems. The Secretary stressed that this innate human ability to adapt and innovate made them valuable potential allies, rather than mere subordinates to be conquered. As the discussions proceeded, Altair couldn't shake the growing sense that there was more to these humans than their initial assessment had suggested. Morris's words painted a picture of a species with untapped potential, one that could prove to be a formidable force if provoked or underestimated. The Una's advisor found himself questioning whether the path of conquest, as advocated by Admiral Antares, was indeed the wisest course of action. The atmosphere in the conference room grew increasingly tense as Antares' impatience with the diplomatic proceedings became more apparent. The Admiral's body language and curt responses to Morris's overtures signaled his unwavering belief in Una's superiority and his eagerness to assert dominance over the humans. Altair, however, found himself torn between his loyalty to the Unas cause and the nagging doubt that had taken root in his mind. Secretary Morris reached into a briefcase and withdrew a thick dossier, sliding it across the polished conference table to the Unas delegation. Before we continue, I believe it's important for you to understand that we have been preparing for this moment for quite some time. Altair opened the dossier, his eyes widening as he scanned the contents. Detailed Una's historical records, cultural analyses, and technological schematics filled the pages. The information was astoundingly accurate and comprehensive, far beyond what any species had ever compiled on the Unas. How did you obtain all of this? Altair asked, his voice a mixture of awe and apprehension. Morris leaned back in his chair, a slight smile playing on his lips. We have been monitoring your civilization for decades, using advanced stealth probes and long-range sensors. Our technology may not be as overtly impressive as yours, but we have our ways. Admiral Antares slammed his fist on the table, his face contorted with rage. You dare spy on us? This is an act of aggression. Secretary Morris remained unfazed by the outburst. On the contrary, Admiral, we view it as a necessary precaution. You see, we have been aware of your presence in the galaxy for a long time, and we have been preparing for this inevitable first contact. Altair, still reeling from the revelation, found himself intrigued by the human's foresight. What exactly do you mean by preparing? Morris stood and walked to the floor-to-ceiling window overlooking the city. We have not been idle, Master Altair. The United Earth Federation has forged alliances with numerous other spacefaring species, many of whom have had, shall we say, less than positive experiences with the Unas expansionist policies. Altair's mind raced as he processed this information. The humans had not only been monitoring the Unas, but had also been actively building a network of allies. It was a strategic move that demonstrated a keen understanding of galactic politics. Admiral Antares, however, grew more agitated by the second. You think your pitiful alliances can stand against the might of the Unas Confederation? We have conquered hundreds of worlds. Secretary Morris turned to face the Admiral, his blue eyes piercing. And yet here we are having this conversation. Perhaps it's time to consider a different approach. Altair leaned forward, his interest piqued. What do you propose, Secretary Morris? The human diplomat returned to his seat, his expression one of calm determination. A series of agreements between our two species, designed to promote peace and cooperation, trade deals, cultural exchanges, joint scientific research projects. We have much to offer each other if we can move beyond the notion of conquest. Antares scoffed, but Altair found himself drawn to the idea. The humans had already proven themselves to be formidable in ways the Unas had not anticipated. Perhaps there was wisdom in seeking a mutually beneficial relationship. As the tension in the room mounted, Altair spoke up, his voice steady. I believe Secretary Morris's proposal merits serious consideration, Admiral. The potential benefits to both our species cannot be ignored. Admiral Antares shot Altair a venomous glare, his displeasure at the advisor's words palpable. The tense standoff in the conference room was interrupted by an urgent beeping from Admiral Antares's wrist communicator. His face darkening, Antares activated the device. Captain Sirius's holographic visage materialized, panic etched across his features. Admiral, we have an emergency situation, Sirius reported, his voice shaking. A fleet of human warships has surrounded our vessels, using some kind of advanced cloaking technology. They appeared out of nowhere and have locked weapons on us. They're demanding our immediate withdrawal from Earth orbit, sir. Antares shot to his feet, his chair clattering to the floor. He rounded on Secretary Morris, eyes blazing with fury. You treacherous scum! This was your plan all along, wasn't it? Lure us down here with false promises while your ships move in for the kill? Morris raised his hands in a placating gesture, his expression remaining calm. Admiral, I assure you, this is not an act of aggression. Our fleet is merely taking precautionary measures to ensure the safety of our planet. As long as you maintain a peaceful stance, no hostile action will be taken. Antares slammed his fist on the table, causing the other Unas to flinch. Peaceful? You call this peaceful? Your ships are one wrong move away from starting a war. Altair, sensing the situation spiraling out of control, interjected, Admiral, perhaps we should investigate further before jumping to conclusions. I propose a joint inspection of the human fleet to verify their intentions and capabilities. Secretary Morris nodded in agreement. An excellent suggestion, Master Altair. We have nothing to hide. A tour of our flagship, the UEF Prometheus, should help clear up any misunderstandings. Antares glared at Altair, his nostrils flaring but reluctantly acquiesced. The UNA's delegation, accompanied by a group of human diplomats, boarded a sleek shuttlecraft and set course for the Prometheus. As they approached the massive battleship, Altair couldn't help but marvel at its impressive design. Gleaming silver hull plating, powerful thrusters, and an array of formidable weapon systems adorned the vessel. The shuttle docked with a soft thud, and the airlock hissed open. Admiral Elena Ivanova, a striking woman with close-cropped silver hair and piercing green eyes, greeted them in the hangar bay. Welcome aboard the Prometheus, esteemed guests. Please follow me. I have much to show you. Ivanova led the group through the ship's corridors, pointing out various technological marvels. In the engine room, she explained the intricacies of the Prometheus's advanced propulsion system, capable of achieving incredible speeds and maneuverability. As they entered the weapons control center, Altair's eyes widened at the sight of the sophisticated targeting systems and powerful armaments on display. Antimatter torpedoes, phased energy cannons, and a state-of-the-art artificial intelligence that assisted with fire control. The humans' military prowess was far beyond what the Unas had anticipated. Ivanova turned to face the delegation, her gaze locking with Altair's. As you can see, our technology is quite formidable. However, I must stress that our intention is not to engage in hostilities. We simply wish to protect our home and ensure a balanced relationship with your species. Altair nodded slowly, a newfound respect for the humans growing within him. It was becoming increasingly clear that a military confrontation with Earth would be a costly endeavor, one that the Unas may not be prepared for. As the Unas delegation disembarked from the Prometheus, Secretary Morris turned to Admiral Ivanova with a gleam in his eye. Admiral, why don't we show our guests what human forces are truly capable of? Ivanova nodded, a sly smile playing at the corners of her mouth. An excellent idea, Mr. Secretary. She faced the Unas group. If you'll follow me, we have arranged a demonstration that I believe you'll find quite enlightening. The delegation was ushered into a sleek black transport craft that whisked them away from the Prometheus. As they soared through Earth's atmosphere, Altair watched the planet's surface transform from the vibrant blue of oceans to the mottled browns and greens of land masses. The craft descended towards a vast desert expanse, touching down on a landing pad adjacent to a sprawling military complex. Towering concrete walls and gleaming metal structures stretched out before them, bristling with advanced technology. Secretary Morris led the group into the heart of the facility, where they emerged into a cavernous hangar. The space was abuzz with activity as human soldiers clad in sleek, black armor moved about with purpose. Altair's eyes widened as he took in the sight of the powered exoskeletons that encased the soldiers' bodies, enhancing their strength and speed to superhuman levels. "Welcome to the Nevada Combat Testing Facility," Morris announced, his voice echoing off the hangar's walls. "Here we put our most advanced military technology to the test against simulated alien threats." Admiral Antares scoffed, his brow furrowing. "Simulations? You expect us to be impressed by mere games?" Morris smiled, unfazed by the UNA's leader's dismissive tone. "I assure you, Admiral, these are no mere games. Our simulations are based on extensive intelligence gathered on the UNA's military and other advanced alien civilizations. What you're about to witness is a glimpse into the future of warfare." The group was ushered into an observation deck overlooking a vast arena-like space. Below, a series of simulated battlefields had been constructed, each one replicating a different alien environment. As the first simulation began, Altair watched in rapt attention as a squad of human soldiers engaged a force of UNA's warriors. The humans moved with fluid grace, their exoskeletons allowing them to evade the UNA's plasma bolts with ease. Energy weapons flared in their hands, cutting through the aliens' armor like a hot knife through butter. But it wasn't just the humans' advanced technology that impressed Altair. It was their adaptability, their creativity in the face of a superior foe. The soldiers worked together seamlessly, using the terrain to their advantage and employing unconventional tactics to outmaneuver the UNAs. As the simulation ended with a decisive human victory, Admiral Antares slammed his fist against the observation deck's railing. "Impossible! How could mere primitives defeat UNA's warriors so easily?" Secretary Morris turned to the Admiral, his expression one of calm assurance. "The answer, Admiral, lies in our history. You see, humanity has been reverse engineering alien technology for decades, ever since the first UNA's scout ship crash-landed on Earth in the late 21st century. Altair's eyes widened in shock. The humans had known about the UNAs for that long, and they had been studying their technology, learning from it, improving upon it. Morris continued, "The recovered technology, combined with our own scientific advancements, has allowed us to develop a formidable military force capable of defending against even the most advanced alien threats. We may not have the numbers or the resources of the UNA's Confederation, but we have something far more valuable, the determination to protect our home and our way of life." As the simulations continued, each one showcasing the humans' remarkable capabilities, Altair found himself re-evaluating everything he had assumed about this seemingly primitive species. The humans were resourceful, tenacious, and far more advanced than the UNAs had ever given them credit for. Perhaps, Altair mused, the humans were not a species to be conquered, but rather one to be respected, even feared. And as he watched the human soldiers triumph again and again against the simulated UNA's forces, a new thought began to take root in his mind. Maybe, just maybe, the humans could be more than just a threat to the UNAs. Maybe they could be allies. The demonstration ended, and Secretary Morris turned to the UNA's delegation, his blue eyes glinting with a mixture of pride and determination. "So, Admiral Antares, what do you think of human combat capabilities now?" Admiral Antares scowled, his eyes narrowing as he considered Morris's proposal. After a tense moment, he growled, "Very well, we will attend this cultural exchange, but mark my words, human, if this is another trick." Secretary Morris raised his hands in a placating gesture. "I assure you, Admiral, our invitation is sincere. We simply wish to share the best of our civilization with you, just as we hope to learn from yours." Hours later, the UNA's delegation found themselves on a sleek, high-speed train, hurtling towards New York City. As the urban landscape blurred past the windows, Altair marveled at the ingenuity of human transportation. The train smoothly decelerated, gliding into a cavernous station in the heart of Manhattan. Stepping onto the bustling platform, the UNAs were greeted by a sea of human faces, their expressions ranging from curiosity to awe. Secretary Morris, flanked by a team of security personnel, led the delegation out of the station and onto the streets of New York. Altair's eyes widened as he took in the towering skyscrapers that seemed to scrape the very sky. The city thrummed with energy, its sidewalks packed with people of every conceivable background. Antares, despite his reservations, couldn't help but be impressed by the sheer scale and diversity of the human metropolis. Their tour began in earnest, with Morris guiding them through the city's iconic landmarks. In Times Square, the UNAs stood transfixed by the dazzling array of digital billboards, each one showcasing the vibrancy of human culture. At Central Park, they marveled at the lush greenery and tranquil lakes, a serene oasis amidst the urban jungle. As evening fell, the delegation arrived at the Metropolitan Opera House, where they were ushered into a private box overlooking the stage. The curtain rose, revealing a hauntingly beautiful set that transported them to the castle of Elsinore. Altair leaned forward in his seat, captivated by the unfolding drama of Shakespeare's Hamlet. The actors, clad in richly detailed costumes, brought the centuries-old tale to life with their impassioned performances. The Una's advisor found himself drawn into the complex web of human emotions: love, betrayal, vengeance, and despair. Even Admiral Antares, who had remained stoic throughout much of the tour, found himself grudgingly impressed by the depth and nuance of the human storytelling. As the final act reached its tragic conclusion, the Una's leader couldn't help but see parallels between the play's themes and the challenges faced by his own people. The night's festivities culminated in a grand reception at the United Nations headquarters. Altair and Antares, now dressed in formal attire provided by their human hosts, mingled with a diverse array of human leaders from every walk of life. Altair found himself engrossed in conversation with a brilliant young scientist who spoke passionately about her work in the field of quantum computing. The Una's advisor listened intently as she described the potential applications of her research, from revolutionizing communication networks to unlocking the secrets of the universe itself. Across the room, Admiral Antares had been cornered by a renowned astrophysicist who eagerly discussed the latest breakthroughs in the study of dark matter and dark energy. The Admiral, initially reluctant, found himself drawn into the conversation, his own knowledge of the cosmos expanding with every passing minute. As the reception wound down, Secretary Morris raised a glass of champagne in a toast. "To the future," he declared, his voice ringing out across the room, "a future of understanding, cooperation, and mutual respect between our two great civilizations." Altair raised his own glass, a smile playing at the corners of his mouth. For the first time since their arrival on Earth, he allowed himself to feel a glimmer of hope. Perhaps, just perhaps, the humans were not the primitive, barbaric species he had once believed them to be. As the reception at the United Nations drew to a close, Secretary Morris approached Altair and Admiral Antares with a glint in his eye. "Gentlemen, I have one more surprise in store for you. How would you like to visit the International Space Station?" Altair's eyes widened, his heart racing at the prospect. "The ISS? Your species' most ambitious collaborative space project? It would be an honor, Secretary Morris." Admiral Antares, his curiosity piqued by the human's technological prowess, nodded his assent. "Very well, human. Lead the way." A sleek silver spacecraft awaited them at the John F. Kennedy International Airport, its streamlined design a testament to human ingenuity. As they boarded the vessel, Secretary Morris explained, "This craft was designed specifically for diplomatic missions like this one. It's equipped with the latest in human technology, ensuring a smooth and comfortable journey." The spacecraft lifted off, its powerful engines propelling them through Earth's atmosphere and into the inky blackness of space. Altair watched in awe as the blue marble of Earth receded behind them, a sense of wonder filling his chest. As they approached the ISS, the station's modular structure came into view, a glittering jewel against the backdrop of the cosmos. The spacecraft docked with a gentle thud, and the airlock hissed open, revealing a group of smiling astronauts. "Welcome to the International Space Station," a tall, blonde-haired woman greeted them, her voice warm and inviting. "I'm Commander Natalie Holt, and these are my crewmates. We're honored to have you aboard." The astronauts led the Una's delegation on a tour of the station, their footsteps echoing in the narrow corridors. In the lab module, they showcased an array of advanced scientific experiments, from biomedical research to materials science. Altair marveled at the ingenuity on display, the way the humans had adapted to the challenges of living and working in space. He engaged Commander Holt in a lengthy discussion about the station's water recycling system fascinated by the closed-loop design that allowed for near-total self-sufficiency. As they made their way to the observation module, Admiral Antares' attention was drawn to the station's navigation and propulsion systems. He studied the displays intently, his mind whirring with the possibilities of adapting human technology for Una's spacecraft. But it was the view from the observation module that truly took Altair's breath away. Earth hung below them, a shimmering blue and green orb against the starry backdrop of the universe. He pressed his hands against the reinforced glass, overcome with emotion, at the sheer beauty and fragility of the human homeworld. As the visit drew to a close, Commander Holt and her crew had one final surprise in store. They presented Altair and Admiral Antares with a pair of custom-designed spacesuits, the emblems of the United Earth Federation and the Unas Confederation emblazoned side by side on the chest plates. These suits represent the beginning of a new era of cooperation and understanding between our species, Commander Holt said, her eyes shining with hope. May they serve as a reminder of the bonds we have forged here today. Altair, deeply moved by the gesture, clasped the commander's hand in his own. Thank you, Commander Holt. I will cherish this gift and the memories of our time here for the rest of my days. I look forward to a future of collaboration and friendship between our peoples. As the Unas delegation returned from their awe-inspiring visit to the International Space Station, Secretary Morris had one more ace up his sleeve. He arranged for Altair, Antares, and their entourage to journey deep into the heart of the Amazon rainforest, where a top-secret human research facility was nestled among the dense foliage. The sleek silver transport craft descended through the misty canopy, touching down on a hidden landing pad. Dr. Marcus Nakamura, a lean, bespectacled man with an air of quiet intensity, greeted them as they disembarked. "Welcome to Project Genesis," he said, his voice filled with pride. "What you're about to see may change the course of human-Unas relations forever." As the group followed Dr. Nakamura into the sprawling complex, they were struck by the advanced technology seamlessly integrated with the natural surroundings. Holographic displays flickered to life, showcasing intricate diagrams and data streams. But it was the central chamber that truly took their breath away. Altair and Antares stepped into a vast, climate-controlled dome, their eyes widening in disbelief. Before them stretched a lush, vibrant ecosystem, a perfect replica of the Unas homeworld. Towering trees with iridescent leaves, crystal-clear streams winding through rocky terrain, and the distant cries of native Unas fauna filled the air. It was as if they had stepped through a portal, transported light-years away to their own planet. How is this possible?" Altair whispered, reaching out to touch the trunk of a familiar tree, its bark rough beneath his fingertips. Dr. Nakamura smiled, his eyes sparkling with excitement. Project Genesis is humanity's first successful attempt at terraforming on a small scale. We've been studying Una's terraforming techniques for years, reverse engineering your technology to create self-sustaining ecosystems. He led them deeper into the dome, pointing out the intricate web of life that had been carefully cultivated. Our ultimate goal is to establish habitable environments on other worlds, paving the way for peaceful colonies and cooperation with alien species like yourselves. Admiral Antares, his initial skepticism giving way to grudging respect, studied a delicate bioluminescent flower that had no earthly counterpart. "I must admit, Dr. Nakamura, your team's achievements are impressive." Altair, his mind racing with possibilities, turned to the scientist. "Dr. Nakamura, the Unas Confederation has made great strides in terraforming over the centuries. Perhaps we could share our knowledge with your team, work together to push the boundaries of what's possible." The human scientist's face lit up, and he grasped Altair's hand in a firm shake. "Master Altair, that would be an incredible opportunity. The exchange of ideas and technology between our species could accelerate progress exponentially." Admiral Antares, sensing the shift in the wind, stepped forward. "Dr. Nakamura, I propose a joint human-Unas mission to explore and terraform a nearby uninhabited world. Let it be the first step in a new era of cooperation between our peoples." Secretary Morris, who had been observing the exchange with a satisfied smile, clapped his hands together. "Gentlemen, I believe we have the makings of a historic partnership here. Project Genesis is just the beginning." As the UNAS delegation prepared to depart Earth, Secretary Morris presented them with a parting gift, a sapling from the Project Genesis ecosystem, its leaves shimmering with an otherworldly glow. "May this symbol of our growing bond remind us of the shared future that awaits us among the stars," he said, his voice filled with hope and conviction. Altair accepted the sapling reverently, his eyes meeting those of Admiral Antares. In that moment, an unspoken understanding passed between them, a recognition that the path forward was one of unity, not conquest. And as their spacecraft lifted off, carrying them back to the waiting UNAS fleet, Altair clutched the sapling close to his chest, his heart swelling with the promise of a brighter tomorrow. As the UNAS ship glided through the inky void of space, its crew abuzz with excitement, Admiral Antares and Altair gathered the senior officers in the vessel's dimly lit conference room. The two leaders, their faces etched with a newfound respect for their human counterparts, began to recount the incredible events that had transpired on Earth. Altair, his voice filled with admiration, spoke of the humans' remarkable achievements in science, technology, and the arts. He described the wonders of the International Space Station, the ingenuity of Project Genesis, and the depth of human storytelling as exemplified by the performance of Hamlet. They had witnessed it. Admiral Antares, his initial skepticism now replaced by a begrudging respect, praised the humans' military prowess and strategic thinking. He recounted the impressive display of human combat capabilities at the Nevada testing facility and the advanced technology of the UEF Prometheus. As the two leaders shared their experiences, the crew's attitudes began to shift. The once hostile murmurs gave way to whispers of admiration and curiosity. Zephyr, a young UNAS engineer with a keen mind and an insatiable appetite for knowledge, raised his hand. "Admiral Master Altair," he began, his voice trembling with excitement, "the humans' technological achievements are truly remarkable. Imagine what we could accomplish if we combined our knowledge with theirs." Antares nodded, a rare smile tugging at the corners of his mouth. "Indeed, Zephyr, their advancements in propulsion systems, energy sources, and life support technologies could greatly benefit our own efforts to explore and colonize new worlds." Zephyr's eyes widened, a grin spreading across his face. "With your permission, Admiral, I would like to assemble a team of our best scientists and engineers to work alongside the humans on joint research projects. We could exchange ideas, collaborate on new designs, and push the boundaries of what's possible." Admiral Antares, recognizing the potential of such collaborations, gave his assent. "Very well, Zephyr, you have my authorization to proceed. Select your team and prepare a proposal for our human allies." As the meeting adjourned and the crew dispersed, whispers of the successful diplomatic mission began to spread throughout the UNAS Confederation. Other UNAS leaders, intrigued by the reports of human capabilities and the potential for cooperation, reached out to Altair and Antares, expressing their desire to establish their own relations with Earth. Altair, now a trusted advisor to the UNAS High Council, found himself standing before the governing body, passionately advocating for a formal alliance between the two species. "Esteemed councillors," he implored, "the humans have proven themselves to be worthy partners. Their technological prowess, combined with their commitment to peace and cooperation, presents an unprecedented opportunity for our Confederation." The High Council, swayed by Altair's testimony and the evidence presented, authorized the establishment of a permanent UNAS embassy on Earth and extended an invitation for human diplomats to visit the UNAS homeworld. The historic decision marked a turning point in the relations between the two species, setting the stage for a future of collaboration and mutual growth. As the UNAS ship prepared to depart Earth's orbit, Admiral Antares and Altair stood on the bridge, gazing at the blue planet below. The once intimidating world now seemed to shimmer with promise and potential. The two leaders exchanged a glance, their eyes conveying a shared sense of wonder and anticipation for the journey ahead. Earth's image grew smaller on the viewscreen as the ship accelerated, the stars stretching into glowing streaks as they entered FTL. In the depths of interstellar space, a new chapter in the story of the Unas and humanity was about to unfold, one written in the language of friendship, cooperation, and the shared pursuit of knowledge. Zephyr strode through the gleaming corridors of the Unas ship, his heart pounding with excitement as he approached the research lab. The doors slid open with a soft hiss, revealing a bustling hive of activity. Unas scientists and engineers hunched over consoles, their faces illuminated by the glow of holographic displays and the sparks of advanced machinery. The young engineer made his way to the center of the room, where a group of his hand-picked team members awaited him. "My friends," he began, his voice brimming with enthusiasm, "we stand on the precipice of a new era. The humans have opened their doors to us, inviting us to collaborate on projects that could revolutionize our understanding of the universe." He activated a large holographic display, which flickered to life, casting a cool blue glow over the assembled Unas. Images of human spacecraft, energy cores, and life support systems rotated slowly in the air, accompanied by streams of data and complex equations. "Our first project will focus on integrating human propulsion technology with our own," Zephyr explained, gesturing to a schematic of a sleek, streamlined ship. "By combining their advanced ion engines with our gravitational warp drives, we could achieve speeds and efficiency never before thought possible." The team members murmured in approval, their eyes wide with the possibilities. Zephyr continued, his voice growing more animated with each word. "But that's just the beginning. We'll also be collaborating on new energy sources, drawing on human research into zero-point energy and quantum entanglement. Imagine the power we could harness, the worlds we could explore." As the team delved into the technical details, their excitement grew. The once daunting challenges now seemed surmountable, the barriers between their species dissolving in the face of shared curiosity and the thrill of discovery. Meanwhile, in the Unas High Council chambers, Altair stood before the assembled leaders, his voice ringing with conviction. "Esteemed councillors," he said, "the time has come for us to forge a new path. The humans have shown us that strength lies not in conquest, but in cooperation. By joining forces with them, we can achieve wonders beyond our wildest dreams." The councillors listened intently, their faces a mix of curiosity and cautious optimism. Altair pressed on, his words painting a vivid picture of a future where Unas and humans stood side by side, exploring the stars and unlocking the secrets of the cosmos. "I propose a formal alliance between our species," he declared, his eyes shining with the fire of conviction. "An alliance built on mutual respect, shared knowledge, and the pursuit of a common goal, the betterment of both our peoples." The High Council, moved by Altair's impassioned speech and the weight of evidence he presented, voted unanimously in favor of the alliance. The chamber erupted in applause, the sound of a new era dawning. On the bridge of the Unas ship, Admiral Antares watched as Earth receded into the distance, a smile playing at the corners of his mouth. Beside him, Altair stood tall, his eyes fixed on the stars ahead. "So we've come a long way, old friend," Antares said, his voice softened by newfound respect. "Who would have thought that a simple diplomatic mission could change the course of our entire civilization?" Altair nodded, his gaze unwavering. "The humans have shown us that there is more to life than conquest and domination. They've opened our eyes to the power of unity and the endless possibilities that await us when we work together." Rigel stared at the floor, his thoughts churning with the weight of Altair's revelation. The young Unas found it hard to fathom that the once promising alliance between their species and humanity had crumbled so catastrophically. "But Master Altair," Rigel said, his voice trembling slightly, "what could have driven our peoples to such devastating conflict after centuries of peace and progress?" Altair sighed heavily, his eyes distant as painful memories resurfaced. It began with a tragic misunderstanding, a small spark that ignited the tinderbox of old grievances and rivalries. A human diplomatic envoy was attacked on an Una's colony world, and the perpetrators were mistakenly identified as Una's extremists. The elder Unas paused, his voice growing strained. The humans retaliated swiftly and harshly, launching strikes against Una's military installations and government centers. The Unas, believing they were under unprovoked assault, responded in kind. Within days, the once peaceful stars were alight with the fires of war. Altair's gaze hardened as he recounted the horrors of the conflict. The humans fought with a tenacity and ingenuity we had never before witnessed. Their mastery of advanced weaponry, honed over centuries of collaboration with our own scientists, proved decisive. Quantum-entangled bombs, neutron cascade warheads, and singularity-driven cannons tore through our defenses. Rigel's eyes widened in disbelief as Altair described the devastation wrought by human forces. Entire Una's battle fleets were annihilated in the blink of an eye, their hulls shattered by weapons that defied conventional physics. Legions of Una's warriors fell before the relentless onslaught of human infantry, their powered exoskeletons and neural-linked weapon systems making them nigh unstoppable on the battlefield. For all our vaunted superiority, Altair said bitterly, we were no match for the sheer ferocity of the human spirit. They fought with a determination born of desperation and righteous fury, each soldier driven by an unshakable belief in the justness of their cause. The elder Una's voice grew heavy with sorrow as he recalled the final days of the war. After decades of bloody conflict, our civilization lay in ruins. Our once great fleets were reduced to drifting hulks, our proud cities now smoldering ruins. With heavy hearts, our leaders sued for peace, accepting the bitter terms of human victory. Rigel sat in silence, struggling to process the magnitude of what he had just heard. The idea that his people, once the undisputed masters of known space, could have fallen so far was almost too much to bear. Altair placed a comforting hand on the young Una's shoulder, his eyes filled with empathy. It is a hard truth to face, my young apprentice, but it is one we must never forget. The Terramana War stands as a testament to the dangers of pride and prejudice, of how even the strongest bonds can be shattered by mistrust and misunderstanding. If you finished this story, please subscribe and like the video, then leave a comment that says, I liked the story, and I will heart every single one of them. It really helps me. Thank you for your time.